Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who knows their history. I didn't know this. Can you name the man who won the U.S. presidency despite losing the Electoral College and the popular vote? Maury, tell us what happened before you tell us who it is.
1876, 11 years after the Civil War was over, the Union was in a period of reconstruction, as they call it. That means they had taken over the South. They put their people, carpetbaggers, in charge, and they were not about to leave. Then came the election of 1876 after 2 terms of Ulysses S. Grant, and you had an election between the governor of Ohio, Rutherford B. Hayes, and the governor of New York, Samuel J. Tilden. Tilden was a Democrat, as were most of the people, or almost all the people in the South, because that was their party. And Rutherford B. Hayes was a Republican, Lincoln's party. And the Electoral College and the popular vote went in favor of Samuel J. Tilden. So, next president, right? Well, there was a meeting of the Electoral College on December the 4th, and 5 of the electors switched their vote from Tilden to Hayes with the understanding, which was done behind the scenes, that the Reconstruction would end and that the South would again be able to govern itself after that, and that's exactly what happened.
Almost sounds like Obamacare.
So
this
yes.
has been going on for, this is nothing new.
You know something? I take back, you're not only not naive, you're very sharp.
Oh, come on. You just
No, I'm not trying to cotton up to you and saying that. I'm only saying is you're absolutely right. You went from A to Z. That's exactly right. The kind of corruption, the fighting on the floor of Congress and so on, those things go way, way back. I'm only saying the things we're doing today are going to hurt us. The things that happened in those days aren't hurting us.
So how is that possible that the Electoral College, I mean, I know they're represented to make the vote, but aren't they supposed to be representative of their state, of the popular vote?
That's a very good question. They are supposed to be. The electors, they're electors that are elected. When the state of California, let's say they have 48 electors, and it isn't a matter of proportion. Whoever gets the most popular vote gets the electorate. The elector can still come to the table and say, well, I've changed my mind. I'm going to vote for the other guy. Could happen today. It's won't you know, the chances of that happening are 1 in a million, but that was an issue that was very critical. The South wanted the northern carpetbaggers, as they call them, off their back, and they were willing to make a grand deal, and that's exactly what they did.
So then why do you even have the popular vote? I mean, I know it's representative in a way, but it's really not, because if the Electoral College wants to go a certain direction, they can bypass the will of the people.
Absolutely.
And override the vote.
To this day.
So why even have a popular vote?
But again,
to make you feel like you're involved, like it's American Idol?
No, because the idea was that the states, when the Constitutional Convention came together, the states wanted to have certain rights. That's why they had 2 senators, even to a little state like Rhode Island, having the same number as New York and California. Because when it comes to the House, you've got 435 representatives based on representing that many districts. And now with 320 million people, the districts are much larger.
Now, can you imagine if that were to happen in today's society?
I don't even want to think about it.
I mean, we saw what happened with George Bush in 2000 when Gore won the popular vote, but the Electoral College...
Very, very good point. Very good point. You're absolutely right. A lot of people thought that that election was stolen. They felt that James Baker would...
Which we might have been better off having Al Gore as president than having him go through his whole warming global hoaxification.
That's another point. The point is there's still people who think that exactly what happened. The head of the Supreme Court was the guy that made it happen.
Again, we go back to the men in robes.
That's right.
That wraps up another edition of the World Report. If you want to see the show again or catch a segment that you missed, just go to our website, theworldreport.org. And don't forget to go to the Morris Beschloss YouTube page and become a subscriber. For Maury Beschloss, all the wonderful folks who volunteer to keep us safe in this crazy world, the United States Armed Forces. I'm Scott Crowfoot. God willing, we'll see each other again.